Sound check, testing, 1, 2. All right, we're going to get started here. Just one quick second. See here, we're going to double check and make sure everything is going well. All right. Sound check, 1, 2. All right. All right, we're going to get started. Thanks for joining. My name is Kevin Gilmore with the National Weather Service New Orleans Baton Rouge office located in Slidell, Louisiana. We're kind of trying something out here that's a little bit new here. We're actually doing a Facebook Live and a YouTube Live simultaneous right now. So we can kind of get some people who possibly may not have a Facebook to possibly watch us on YouTube. We feel like maybe that'll be a little bit easier for people to kind of get our message here about the winter weather threats that we have coming up. So if anything changes, I'm not going to be monitoring the stream here, but I do have it. I'm watching on Facebook here to make sure that everything goes across real well. So we're here doing a Facebook Live because we have the chance for some actually winter precipitation. It feels like maybe one of the last times I did this, it was possibly one of the 8 or something hurricanes that we had late last year. But we actually have some winter weather potential here coming up here Monday and some very, very cold temperatures on Tuesday. And we're going to kind of talk about that here in just one quick moment. So let's go ahead and show, first of all, what's actually going on outside. And if you could see this, I want to hope you can see. This is the current radar image, if you could see it. Really nothing. It's a clear night, calm conditions. We have no rain, no snow anywhere near Louisiana, southern Mississippi. And it's just a very calm night and actually pretty cold as well. It's we got temperatures around the lower 40s to even upper 30s, and it's going to be a cold night, just like it was a very cold day. And we're not going to really see any type of impacts tonight. We are kind of watching some of the latest model guidance that's been coming across, is talking about maybe wanting to show some of the stuff to the southwest coming up to the northeast. We are kind of watching that it may be cold enough for some periods of maybe some very temporary period of maybe freezing rain or light sleet for north of Baton Rouge and near Macomb. Again, that'll be daybreak tomorrow when we're going to start to see the very early signs of the system come up, but that's not the main part of the system that we're going to be monitoring here. So jumping back here real quick, I wanted to kind of first talk about something that's really important here as we go into the rest of this event, and we want you to be able to find your location on a map. This is very important, mostly because during severe weather, we use maps to portray radar images and watches and warnings and forecasts, and pretty much any type of weather that has the potential to impact your area. And just flat out, you need basic map skills to understand when winter weather or any type of weather threatens your area. So know where you are, know your parish, know your county, because we're going to be showing maps here in just a quick second. That's going to actually really show and portray where areas are currently under watches and who are not. So as we show maps, I want you to be very much aware where you live, and where you can be able to identify yourself on a map based out of any parish or county that you see listed here. And this is our county warning area that we cover, which was going to be the next point I was going to bring up, was for you to know which National Weather Service office serves your area. We're going to be really discussing mostly here just southeast Louisiana and southern and coastal Mississippi. But if you're interested in knowing other areas, if you have friends in Lafayette, Lake Charles, or Jackson, or Mobile surrounding our area, we have surrounding offices of a large network of around 122 offices across the United States. So we just cover Southeast Louisiana, and that's where we're going to be our focus of discussion for this event. But be aware that there are winter weather hazards also up to Jackson and even to Lake Charles as well. So there are winter weather impacts across the area that span well above or well beyond where we're currently going to be talking about. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it right now. These are the current watches and watch warning and advisories in effect right now. As of when we're doing this broadcast, we still have a winter storm watch in effect that includes the greater Baton Rouge area, and that goes up to about Macomb. So it's going to be a Baton Rouge to Macomb line off to the northwest. What we're talking about is the potential for actually some significant icing. We're talking about total ice accumulations of 1/4 inch or more possible in this area. Or generally along and north, like I said, from Baton Rouge to Macomb. That includes a lot of rural areas up towards there, Point Coupee, the Feliciana parishes, Wilkinson County. You're in this as well. We know our friends to our north have gone ahead with a warning. Be aware that we may be upgrading to a warning. We're going to be looking at that data later tonight. So be aware when you wake up tomorrow morning, we may have some winter storm warnings in effect for the area you see in blue right there. And the time frame, we're going to talk about that too, is going to be from late Sunday night through Monday afternoon. That's going to be the time frame. We're going to talk about that a little bit here more specifically in just a quick second. But again, the main impacts here are going to be significant icing in the form of freezing rain. So that's going to be rain that falls when the surface is below freezing or the surface temperatures are below freezing. The rain freezes on contact, and that can get on power lines, and that can actually even bring down power lines if it's heavy enough and cause widespread power outages. Also tree damage. You can see tree damage, which could also lead to power outages, and travel is going to be extremely dangerous. And we're talking about that's going to be through Monday afternoon, so the morning commute on Monday you may really want to watch the forecast, especially if you're any of these areas in pink or blue colors. Again, if your county or parish, I just talked about earlier about the importance of knowing where you are on a map. If your county or parish is highlighted in that blue or pink color, you have the potential to see these hazards as I just discussed. So now let's talk about the timing. The timing of the wintry mix, freezing rain, not including the potential for maybe some minor or some sleet or possibly freezing rain for northwest areas tonight. But mostly it's going to be starting with daybreak today. It's going to be areas you see in the darker color to the top left. That's going to be early Monday morning, again around after daybreak Monday morning, and then that threat's going to continue to shift a little bit more to the south and west throughout, south and east with time. So we're talking about Baton Rouge. We're saying a winter mix that could start mid-morning Monday with some accumulation Monday afternoon. As you get towards outside of the watch area, we know there is this small potential that there could be some impacts further to the east, and that does include Covington and maybe even the greater New Orleans metro area. Now, we have no defined winter storm watch or warning or advisory or anything like that for the greater New Orleans metro area. However, be aware that we have been monitoring the latest guidance tonight, and we are seeing there is a little bit of an eastward jog to some of the potential impacts. But again, if we see these trends and they look reliable, looking at the latest meteorological data, we'll be sure to update our watches and warnings if need be. So be aware as we get towards New Orleans, that's a winter mix. You could still see winter mix in the greater New Orleans area. That would be Monday evening with no accumulation currently forecast. So that's anywhere in that white color that you see there. But again, we're going to be closely monitoring trends as we go on through the next 24 hours. So here's the forecast ice accumulation for Monday. This is what we're talking about when it comes to actual accumulations. We're saying around at least 1/10 of an inch or less for Baton Rouge. And then we're talking about even up to 1/4 inch for Macomb and areas around like Wilkinson County, Mississippi, Point Coupee, West Feliciana Parish. That's going to be potential for significant icing issues that you see in red. All the definitions you see on the left is pretty much what applies. We're talking about near impossible travel due to icy roads and widespread power outages if your county or parish is in that red area. As you get towards the color a little bit, that kind of an orange color there, that's the kind of the mid-range color there, that's dangerous travel due to icy conditions on bridges and overpasses and isolated power outages. That pretty much does include Baton Rouge and Macomb. So expect it. That's just why this is your time. That's why we do these Facebook and YouTube lives, is to kind of give you a heads up, give you time to prepare. And if there happens to be any type of power outages, it's going to be very cold. And we're going to talk about the cold here in just a quick moment, following several days. And if you lose power, it's going to be a very difficult situation. So that's why we want to let people be aware the most they can. As you go more towards the east, getting close to Covington, just north of Houma, that's where we're talking about maybe some patchy ice. However, again, we're going to be really monitoring how far east that may jog. Like I was just talking about, we are seeing some guidance that's wanting to jog this a little bit more east, but once we really catch up on and analyze these trends more carefully, we'll update the watches and warnings if need be. So here, this is kind of something we've been showing that's a little new here. Hopefully to help portray and convey the message better for people to understand the possibility of ice. This is the possibility of a 1/4 inch of ice on Monday. So a probability is kind of like almost like what we talk about with rain chances, but not the same. But when we're talking about a probability, it's just the chance of seeing it. So we see Baton Rouge there, you have a 21% chance of seeing a 1/4 inch of ice, higher for Macomb, and we see we got a lot higher values there over Wilkinson County. So around a 20 to 30% chance of seeing a 1/4 inch of ice is pretty good enough for us to issue a winter storm watch and maybe even a winter storm warning as we go later tonight. So those are some pretty high numbers from what we've seen, and especially high for this area of the United States, of course, across the northern Gulf Coast, which is very concerning for us. This even goes into Lake Charles's area as well. Lafayette, you have that high potential. And this will extend all the way up towards Hattiesburg, getting towards Jackson, and may even go towards northwest Alabama later Monday and early Tuesday. So be aware that this is going to be kind of a large stretched event. Now, as we go to the possibility of a 1/10 of an inch, now we're going down. We go from a 1/4 or 0.25, now we're going down to the possibility of a 1/10 of an inch of ice. Here's where we're a little concerned. We're seeing those probabilities really ramp up fast. That's up to a 75% chance for Baton Rouge, 81% for Macomb, and way higher for the areas we were just talking about for Point Coupee up to Wilkinson. Very significant, impactful event there. A 1/10 of an inch is still very significant and can cause some very significant impacts. It doesn't have to be a 1/4 inch for there to be significant impacts. But you see that cutoff really cuts off fast as you get between Baton Rouge. Now we're talking about around 50% chance for Hammond, and then 0% for Slidell. So that there's going to be a very sharp cutoff line here, and we just need to really gauge on where that cutoff line might be. If it's just slightly colder, this could push in a little bit closer to New Orleans, and that's why it's very important for you to stay tuned for the latest updates. So simply said, freezing rain is the worst. It's a very yucky situation. Very much impacts life. Can cause tree damage, power outages. And is a very significant situation. We want you, if you're in the areas that we were really highlighting there, is to watch out for falling branches and power lines. It can be very dangerous if you have to be outside. And pretty much, we like to say, just don't drive. It's just the smartest thing to do. We may be dealing with areas, maybe even black ice, which is very hard to see on the roads. Just don't drive in this type of a situation. If you're in near Baton Rouge and going to Macomb and areas to the northwest, don't plan on traveling on Monday. Just stay in. It's the best you can do. Have your preparations, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. Like I said, anywhere in the areas that we had just showed you earlier. Now, even beyond that, now we're getting to Tuesday morning now, so the system should be getting out of here late Monday night, but there's going to be a lot of cold temperatures filtering in early Tuesday morning. Towards daybreak Tuesday. We're talking about the teens for Baton Rouge and Macomb, and even getting into Covington. And yes, even New Orleans, we're talking about the mid-20s, and that's a very significant impact for the South Shore to see temperatures that cold. And this could be possibly even record-breaking cold for many areas. So this is a record-breaking cold morning event looking likely here. Temperature duration is going to be well over 12 hours below freezing for most of the area that you see. So this is going to be a very significant event. Safety information, we always say protect the 4 Ps. That's people, pets, pipes, and plants. And we'll show that here in just a second a little bit more. Please check on your elderly. If they happen to be not aware of what's coming up, please just give them a call or check in on them. Pets, bring them in. You cannot leave pets in this type of extreme cold. Or if you can't bring them, just make sure they have warm shelter with access to unfrozen water. Pipes, wrap exposed pipes. If you're in poorly insulated homes, it may be necessary to maybe let faucets drip. That's going to be a very slight, very slow drip overnight. and protect sensitive vegetation. I know we've already been below freezing for some areas many times, especially the North Shore and further north, many times already, but this is some of the first freezing temperatures we've seen this far south this season. So plants that are very sensitive across the South Shore, you may want to bring them in a case like this. So going even towards Tuesday afternoon, we're not even warming up much at all. We're staying pretty much in the 30s for a large part of the area. So Tuesday, following the winter weather, is going to be a very, very cold day. Highs barely getting above freezing for Baton Rouge and Macomb, and only reaching the upper 30s for New Orleans, and staying in the 40s for coastal Mississippi. So a lot of very cold weather on the way, even after we're dealing with the risk for winter weather. And record temperatures are possible, like I just mentioned. I know there's a lot of information on this map, but this is kind of showing you. We're going to post this on social media after this Facebook and YouTube Live, where we'll be discussing this a little bit more. But these are for Baton Rouge. You see on the top left, these are the record coldest low temperatures. Everything you see with an asterisk next to the green forecast low, we're talking about breaking the, we're currently forecasting us to break the Tuesday morning record low by 9 degrees in Baton Rouge with a low of 18. Even the coldest record high temperatures are forecast to be broken all Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday afternoon by between 5 and 10 or more degrees. So this kind of gives you a little bit of reflection of how significant this cold air is going to be. And then even going into New Orleans as well, same thing, record coldest low temperatures. We're looking for a very likely chance we'll be breaking the record morning low temperature Tuesday morning with a low of 25, breaking the previous low of 29 in 1963. And we see that there's a lot of temperatures here that of records that were broken in the 1960s. For people who have been around since a long time, going back to the 60s, may remember a very cold, a very significant cold snap that we had then. It's going to be very similar to that, if not colder than that. We see that we're breaking record coldest high temperatures in New Orleans Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday afternoon, and then again breaking the morning low temperature that was set in 1963. Tuesday morning. So beyond that, on Wednesday and Thursday, we do warm back up. So this is just a temporary cold snap. But once we get past this, we'll be getting back to near normal as we get towards Wednesday and Thursday, still slightly below normal. So again, this won't be sticking around for long, but expect very cold temperatures Monday and even colder as we get on Tuesday. And here's what we just talked about don't forget the 4 P's of freeze safety: people, pets, plants, and pipes. Please check on people who are that need to be checked on, elderly specifically. Just make sure that they have appropriate warmth, their heaters working, anything like that, that they have extra blankets, because this is going to be a very significant event. Pets, bring them in or make sure they have adequate shelter. Check the plants and check your pipes as well. So this is, this is going to be for the cold that we're talking about. That's going to be coming thereafter. So going to go back here and just again talk about, we have 2 basic threats that we're going to be really dealing with here, and that's going to be the winter weather potential for Baton Rouge to Macomb, and we're going to be monitoring how far east this may be progressing. Be aware that there could be some adjustments to the winter storm watch, or the winter storm watch may become a winter storm warning by tomorrow. There's a chance that this could be extended east if we think model guidance is kind of really hinting at a trend here. But again, that's why we're here. We're going to be checking this model guidance very carefully, all the latest meteorological data, to ensure that you have the latest information to stay safe during this winter weather event. Also be aware with the cold air coming in later after this event, Monday night into Tuesday morning and through the day on Tuesday, we may be hosting up also some either a wind chill advisory or a hard freeze warning specifically for those areas that have not seen a hard freeze yet. So be aware of that as we getting a little bit closer. There will be the potential for many more watches, even some warnings and maybe even some advisories as we get closer. So the main story here, it's going to be cold. We wish it wasn't going to be this cold, because this is kind of bone-chilling cold for us here in the along the northern Gulf Coast. So thank you for joining. We'll be sure to update you constantly on social media with the latest information. If we make any changes to the watches and warnings, you'll be the first to know there. And we'll join. We'll probably do another Facebook Live, probably several more of these as we get closer to the event. So again, stay tuned for the latest information. So we'll end it there, and thank you for joining. Have a great night.